So what I can do is maybe we'll do PMPro orders to Google Sheets. This is something that I was working on recently, so I'll just do a rough example of how I'd set that up. So I created an order. In theory, this should pull data when we create the Zap. So this is the most recent order on my site. I'm just going to create a blank spreadsheet that we can capture data on. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to just call it Zapier demo. I'm not going to build the columns or anything yet. I'll pull in the sample data from PMPro orders, and then we can map whatever columns we want. Okay, so I'm going to create a new Zap. It's very much the similar process. As I said, if you've done one Zap with PMPro, it's more or less a copy paste. So we're going to go pay memberships pro. So the events, I'm going to say order added or updated, continue. I don't have to re-authenticate. I can just choose my authentication. As I mentioned, once you're authenticated, it keeps you logged in for 14 days or whatever it is, or even longer. I think it's only once you create a Zap and it's been over a certain amount of time, it asks you to re-authenticate. It won't just stop working from your like one day your Zap stopped working. So yeah, here's the order that I recently created. Again, I just customized the order code. It's got my email, my total, 100, success, sandbox, things like that. So now what I want to do is, let's see if I can do like a filter. Maybe if the total's over $50. So I can say, okay, only continue if, now you just fill it out. If the total condition is, I think it's number greater than 50. So it's only going to continue running the Zap once the data comes in and the order total is greater than 50. You can create multiple ands and ors. So you can say if the total is greater than 50 and the payment environment is live environment, not sandbox. But I'm just going to do a simple one so we can see what it looks like. So we're going to say continue. So as you can see, I've put like a filter action now between the trigger and the action that I want to post the data to. So that it runs a test quickly. It says, hey, your Zap would have continued based on the sample data. If you click here again, you can see the data. So it has been greater than 100. If this order total was 49, it would have said, warning, this Zap wouldn't have run. So again, I call it a waterfall flow. I don't know what the correct term is, but it's only going to run top down. So on the second action, this filter action, if the condition isn't met, it's going to stop. It's not going to continue. It's not going to go to another step in the process. It's just going to stop and say the Zap stopped. That's where the paths come in, where you can choose almost like different steps, or it's literally a different path that you take. So if I used a path, it would have looked very similar to this, where it's like, if total is number greater than 50, go to this action, or if the number is less than 50, go to another action. So that's the difference between paths and filters. So I'm going to choose Google Sheets. You do like a single sign-on auth authentication with this. So I'm just going to say create a spreadsheet row. That's fine. So it'll create a row every time an order comes in. It's going to create a row that's in my spreadsheet, and then I can manipulate the data, filter the data how I want. So I'm just going to continue, choose account. Since I was logged in, it didn't ask me to enter my password. I'm authenticated. So I've logged into my PMPro account. I'm going to continue. Now you just choose what drive. If you have multiple drives, you're going to choose what spreadsheet, what worksheets, and things like that. And I know I haven't created the fields yet in the spreadsheet. Zapier demo. Okay. And then you're going to choose the worksheet. So the worksheet, I found out, are these little tabs at the bottom here. These are called worksheets. So I'm going to post it to sheet 1. You just got to wait for the data to pull in. So now it's going to say, hey, we didn't find any fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to capture the email, so the user email, order code, and the total amount that they've paid, and maybe the payment gateway. Okay, so we go back to Zapier. Again, your spreadsheet might have different columns. It's really up to you. I'm just going to refresh the fields to see if they pull in now. There we go. They pull in. So now I set user email, order code, total, payment gateway that I just did. And now I'm just going to map the data from order one. So I'm just going to say user email, order code, show all options, which is that one. Total is, you just got to find it. It's not always in alphabetical order. Payment gateway. And what I'm going to show you is you can actually mix static text with your dynamic text. So when you pre-fill these blocks that, it's got the PMPro logo and the sample value that we pulled in, you can literally type in here now. You can put this in brackets if you want, and then you can say whatever the value is. And then you go to order data, and then you can say, for example, like 100. The total is 100. So this would show brackets your email address and the value is 100. You don't necessarily only have to have dynamic values. You could say the user's email is comma and their name is comma, but I'm just going to remove it so we can see what it looks like. So then if I hit continue, it just gives you a once over before to make sure that the data is right. Don't worry about the worksheet and the spreadsheet values. I always just assume they're correct based on my chosen settings earlier. So these are the columns that are being passed. It's the email, order code, amount, and Stripe. But what I'm going to do before, I'm going to show you that static thing one more time. I'm going to just say dollar. I know it's dollars, so I'll just say it's $100. Continue, and now you can see I've got the static dollar sign with the dynamic total order total. So you can do that, and then you can say test action, and you just wait for it to push to Google Sheets. So it says it got sent, and there's the data there. So now if I make this live, if I make the Zap live, every time an order comes in, it will fulfill this spreadsheet, each row. It'll be like, yes, customer B, D, E, whatever, and then continue down. And then what we mainly do with this is we have a raw master copy, if you want to call it that, a main file that you just have raw data in. And then you can create a new sheet and pull data from the raw view into aggregated nice view charts and format the data then. Again, this is just like a simple.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think that's a common use case where it's either you have free and paid, or you have a certain level of paid. Like the people who pay me $500 get invited to the Zooms. They get added to the Facebook group. They get shipped the book. They get, I use Bonjoro. We don't do this, but you could, the Bonjoro, the app to record a video or to send them a card or flowers. So that's a really powerful demo.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason. Another good one is you could also filter on order status. So you can build your own cart abandonment or like failed payments tracker that you don't have to go into PMPro orders and filter it. So the concept would be very similar, but the filter step would change. You would go filter on order status. So you could say if order status does not contain success, so every order that's not successful that Zapier pings and gets data from, you can push it to a Google Sheet, and then someone on your team or in your company works through that sheet and follows up with them and then emails them, and whatever your churn recovery process is, you can do that as well. So that's another way that you can automate just data to something as simple as a Google Sheet. So yeah.
Awesome.